Hello and welcome to Sobrix. I'm Adam and this is Sobrix. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and building them and other Lego related stuff. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the new Lego City Police Car and Muscle Car Chase set. This is set number 60415. It has 213 pieces, and I paid $20 for this set. So this is another set that released on January 1st, 2024. I rarely, if ever, look at Lego Police sets. I've looked at a few. I prefer to look at like other emergency response kind of sets from Lego City, if it's like medical stuff, ambulances, hospitals, or fire stuff. That's just more the kind of sets that I gravitate towards. This one seemed like an okay deal. I like vehicle builds, and I did want to give it a fair shake. I know there were some other city sets with like a boat chase, I think, and I think they call people who maybe steal like crooks or something. And I think there was actually a Lego City prison set that came out recently, which was very interesting to me. I don't know if that's one I'm going to look at eventually, but I decided to pick this one up either way. And so in this video, I'm going to open this up, I'm going to put this together, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on it. So while I build, I will speed the video up, and then I'll slow it back down to review this set. So until then, enjoy! Okay, so while we look at the build for this Lego City Police Car and Muscle Car Chase set, I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and then remind you, if you like this video, click the thumbs up. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button. So we start out here building the sort of police car first, and this was actually kind of interesting. It's much different, at least in my mind, than the $10 single car box Lego City police car from the last couple years, and so I really liked a lot of the shaping here. And then we move on to the muscle car. I think in my full review I kind of talk about these in relation to the 6 wide speed champions, and there is some similarities there, but overall for city vehicles I found these to be quite enjoyable, and there's some interesting building techniques for both the police car and the muscle car here. And now on to my review for this set. Okay, so here is this Lego City Police Car and Muscle Car Chase set. This is pretty fun. I think there is a lot of people who would enjoy this kind of set. I do like that there's like a maybe implied or explicitly stated narrative to kind of go along with this. But as I stated at the beginning, it's not normally a set I would typically go for. And so my sort of feelings about it, I can set aside for the most part and just talk about what's in the box, what the build was like, and everything else here. So we'll get right into it, and the first thing we'll look at is the minifigures, because you do get some. So the first one here is the police officer, it seems. So they have a helmet, even though they're driving in a vehicle, in a car there, which I thought was a little interesting, a little unique. No hairpiece for that. Would have loved to get an alternate hairpiece. And then they are wearing like a high visibility kind of vest over a kind of what I would call like in my area, traditional police uniform here. And it reminds me very much, of what I might see in certain other countries that are not the U.S., where police are often seen in more of high visibility stuff. It's not something that I see in my daily life very often at all, or any interactions I've had with cops occasionally when they are maybe directing traffic or something like that. So I thought that was really unique. It does give it a slightly different feel to me personally, which is good. Nothing on the midsection, nothing on the legs. Looking at the back, again, we kind of have this checkered metallic pattern and kind of a high vis vest there. Like I said, there's no alternate hair for this. There's also no alternate face. So A pretty basic city minifigure. It does come with some accessories. So this is a like minifigure handcuff type thing here. And then this was a printed tile. This is interesting because I don't know if this plays into some bigger story stuff. In the instructions, there's some QR codes that relate to this wanted sign. So it looks like we have a wanted poster that is also an image of the other minifigure here. So this is printed. I don't know if this is a character that's in some of the other police sets or someone having to do with the, the incarceration set that is out there, the prison set or whatever it is, but interesting printed tile. So but there were stickers in this set, so kind of unique. And then we have the driver of what I'm is assuming the muscle car here, and so they have kind of a crop top shirt there with some stripes, kind of an angry look on their face, a little bob haircut maybe, and then their pants or whatever kind of go up onto the torso. We get the impression of some hips and a waist there. That's kind of unique there. Can't really be paired with other kind of legs now because it has that maybe and I would have loved for the printing for that to extend onto the midsection a little bit, because it seems like it's a little bit cut off there, but there is no printing on the midsection, no printing on the legs. Looking at the back, again, very, very similar here to the front, and this character does have an alternate face, so maybe a little more remorseful and a little more aggravated here or something like that. They have a couple accessories too, which is some of these printed tiles for $100 Lego dollars or whatever, and a gem, maybe a sapphire or something like that. And I'm assuming the general story is that this character may have stolen this money and this gem, and that is why they are wanted. That I don't really want to weigh in on that, so that's neither here nor there. I do appreciate when there is a narrative. That's one of the things I like about some of the modular buildings and stuff like that. So it's cool that they included that. And in my head, in my Lego City, I would like to think that maybe this person found that money and was going to return it to the authorities, and it was a big misunderstanding. However, that doesn't explain the wanted sign. I would just, if it's a city of my creation in my Lego City, I would like to imagine that people aren't stealing, and so the need for a chase, however fun that is for play, isn't quite as a necessity. But that's just a personal me thing. There's still a ton of good stuff about this set, but those two minifigures, and then the rest of the set is the vehicle. So the first one you build, and the first one we'll look at here, is the police car. I thought this was really interesting. So I've built one other, I think I've built only one other police car, and I've built maybe a police motorcycle that was very crude, and the one that I built was like in the $10 box, and this set's $20, so maybe $10 for each vehicle here, but this one's a lot more unique. It's a lot more visually interesting, and again, it has some kind of unique stuff that I think in my mind points this towards being more of a European police officer or something. It's just not the kind of stuff that I see very often, and part of that is, again, this high visibility kind of yellow here that's used, as well as like this patterning here. So there are stickers in this set. On the police car, there are 3 stickers. We can see the sticker sheet over here. So the star badge kind of on the hood is a sticker, and then these two on these slopes is a sticker. But I think the overall shaping of this is pretty cool. It's kind of modern. It looks very fast, and there's some pretty standard building techniques. We do use kind of the a chassis here. It is a 6 wide set, but there is some unique stuff. I liked the kind of alternating translucent studs here for lights maybe, and actually I thought it was interesting that on the underside of this, maybe I did that wrong, but they have these other two translucent ones underneath here that kind of get lost a little bit. You can't really see them, and then they use a clear translucent plate in here as well to sort of emphasize those lights there. The top looks very finished, looks very tiled out, which is really nice. So a good use of these like headlight slope pieces, these angled slope pieces. Nice use of the triangular tiles there. A lot of tiles kind of going around the top, and then we have another kind of blue and red kind of lights here, and on the back we have some red. And then looking at the side of this, I think this is a really cool shape and a really cool design to have in a police vehicle. It feels like this is something that I wouldn't see on a police car normally, so it looks very, I don't know, sporty and almost like a race car or something like that. So I don't know if that's like an air intake or something along those lines, but it's a pretty cool shape here, and the building technique for it is very rudimentary. It's very basic, but I think the end effect is really nice. So I think this looks great on the side. There's no doors on here. We do have the windshield here, which is normal. It's like 4 wide. We have center steering. We can fit the figure in there, which is good. And just these couple studs that are open there, and everything else pretty much is tiled out. So, that's good on Lego. I think that makes it look really great, but some people kind of like to see the studs. The other side is very much the same, but again, I think that's really cool looking. So nice to see that. I think the color blocking is really smart, kind of the reflective, the white, and even having like the white fenders, but then at the back moving towards kind of the dark bluish gray fenders here, and then around to the back. No license plate on the front or the back here. I don't know if Lego's like kind of doing away with license plates or not. And then getting towards the back, we do have one of these pieces that sometimes you see in the hood of a car right here, and some slopes, some lights, the reflective bit here, which looks cool, and then there's kind of a small like spoiler or wing on the back, and these angles using these slopes underneath these angled plates is very nice. And then the back kind of bumper is pretty standard. So there's some bracket usage in here, not a ton. You can see most of this is just studs on top, but there's some bracket usage at the just at the rear, I think. I don't even know. This all might be studs on top too here. So that's kind of unique. And then the wheels are like the newer Speed Champions type wheels. So the rubber and the rim of the wheel or whatever is dual molded into one piece, and then you add in kind of these hubcap rim type things there. So that's nice to see, kind of interesting. And overall, this is a pretty cool car. I think it would look really great, and there is a lot of things about it. I like kind of the transition of color. I like the overall shaping. It feels really nice for a Lego City car, so if it had been just a sports car, which I think you could easily not put these stickers on here and maybe adjust the lights and different things, and I could think you could easily get away with portraying this as something other than a police car, which is potentially something I would do, but also maybe not. It looks far cooler than a lot of police cars I've seen in my life, but I know they drive different kinds of vehicles in all different kinds of areas. So I thought this build was really good, and I think it looks really great, and I think it's a pretty fun toy. So there's that. And then the other car is this muscle car. So the set is called the Police Car Muscle Car Chase. So the implication is that these are maybe a high speed chase, maybe a low speed chase, maybe just going the speed limit chase here. And this is pretty cool too. I think for another set that I looked at, that was a city set that had like a fire emergency vehicle, a like muscle car type vehicle, and a police motorcycle in it. I think that had kind of a similar shape to this, but definitely a different color. So the first thing that really struck me here is I love the color scheme, and they have this kind of like, I don't know if this is fuchsia or kind of this, it's a darker pink, but also very vibrant, which I liked. And it reminded me, I think there's some vehicles from the 2K Drive sets that used that color that I appreciated. And then overall, the shape, I don't know what vehicle it's supposed to be kind of modeled after, but it's very boxy. This is all just flat here, very square at the front, but that's okay. We do have stickers on this one, so 2 stickers on this one, on the side panel here, on the side panel on the other side. Looking at the front, kind of have an opening here, but I think that's a cool effect. So for the front grille, we have some lights up there, and you see a little bit of that pinkish purplish color coming through between the black there. And then on the hood, it's very flat. You do see a couple studs here from the fenders, which is a nice little touch, I think, when the rest of this is pretty much tiled out. An Exonite shield on the hood, a couple vents there. It's a convertible, so we get the simple 4 wide kind of wind screen or windshield there. We can sit in the middle, center steering, so that's fine. And then moving towards the back, we have these kind of just raised slopes at the edge of the back, and at the rear we have kind of like some exhaust and different stuff, some brake lights or rear lights, and there's also kind of a trunk, so to speak. So it's very small, but it can fit some of these pieces. If you were to put a couple of these tiles in there with the money printing and a gem in there, and you could probably fit a couple more of each of those in there, and I wouldn't be too worried about those falling out. So this little flag piece is just clipped on there, not too big of a deal, but a nice consideration. I do appreciate that. And there were some interesting building techniques in this vehicle. I think it might be the first time I've ever seen where you kind of build a subassembly for both of the areas where the fenders are. So this whole piece and this whole piece that goes around the wheels there was kind of built together and then put on to kind of the main sort of chassis here. And they did a similar thing up on the front, which was cool. It wasn't something that I had seen terribly often. A lot of times I feel like even in Speed Champions cars, I'm like putting the fenders down, relatively early. It depends on how much has to build out around it, and then I just add a bunch of detail around, down on the sides, on the top of, on the rear of, on the front of. But this one kind of had a slightly different order of things that was unique to me, so I thought that was pretty cool. And overall, I think this is another nice looking vehicle. The color scheme really pops, and I do particularly like these, the color of the wheel here. Again, these are dual molded like Speed Champions wheels, so the rubber and the inside of the wheel, which is hard plastic, are molded together there. And I think they've used this color, which is sort of that same kind of pink, purple, fuchsia, whatever there. I think they've used this wheel in this color for some of the maybe Lego 2K Drive sets. Let me actually grab one and see. I believe this one uses that same color there. So is that the same color? I'm colorblind, so it's hard for me to know, but I think it is. So that's cool to see that color used again. I welcome all the kind of new different colors for the inside of those wheels there, which is nice. And I think this is pretty cool and pretty fun. Looking at the size of these things, they're very similar. They're 6 wide. This one, because of these kind of vented ramp pieces here, it has a little extra width. This one doesn't too much, and I think they're both pretty interesting builds. They look visually distinct from each other, and I think they could each give each other a run for the money if they were going to be racing or chasing or something along those lines. As far as the stickers goes, there's only 5 of them. They're not terribly hard to put on. I was kind of hoping they were going to be prints, just because I guess I don't know why I would expect that, but in a couple other sets recently, I've seen like more prints than I would normally expect. And then I did want to compare this to the other kind of 2-in-1 vehicle pack from the City line that released along the same time. And that's the race car and the car carrier truck. So I just wanted to kind of get a rough size comparison of these and look at kind of what we all have in each of these 2-packs. So I've already done a video about this one. Noticeably, this one at least uses these smaller wheels, and this one uses, I think these are separate. So the truck even uses kind of the older style Speed Champion wheels, where you do have to put the center in there. Is that correct? It feels like it to me, but I can't get this out of here now, so maybe I'm not supposed to. No, yeah, you definitely put that on there. So, I guess it's a little bit surprising to me that they would use, these smaller, which I would consider like older style or size wheels, but good to have a lot of different size wheels. And then, these wheels are kind of what I call the older Speed Champion style wheels. I think they might use them occasionally, but I'm much more used to these, especially for modern day Speed Champions and the 8-wide era. So size-wise, the race car is smaller in a lot of ways. It's lower to the ground. It has this big spoiler on the back, which adds a good amount of length to it. But even with that, it's shorter than either of these other 2 cars. And then if you were to flip that up or angle it a little different, it is markedly shorter. The truck is a good amount bigger. I don't know if these sets can really interact well with each other. This one's not quite right. It's close. It could maybe work. I don't know if it feels as snug on there as this one does. And same for the police car. Like a little much of it is hanging off the back, and the kind of pyramid pieces here don't necessarily hold the vehicle on as well. So these really are more, for each other, and that's fine. I just didn't know if they were kind of going to work together in that way, but I did want to kind of compare those. And this is interesting. I'll show the extra pieces. You don't get too many, but you do get some, and they're all right. You get an extra visor for the helmet, extra of the translucent studs that are used for lights, extras of the handcuffs here, extra of this gray open stud, extra of the gem, and that is all for the extra pieces there. And this set is 213 pieces, and I paid $20 for this set. That's what this retails for. 2 minifigures, somewhat unique, I would say. You do get the printed wanted tile there, the printed money tiles here, and 2 vehicles. If I do break this down, like the one kind of electric sports car set that was in a $10 city box from the last year or two, and the police car in the $10 city box from the last year or two that you could occasionally get for a discount, $8, $6, $7, in that range. I think these are comparable, maybe better than those. And I think that makes the price seem reasonable. I would say, Speed Champions cars are going up to, well, $20, $25, $27 for a single car. And those 2-packs are way more, but kind of a better deal relatively. But this, I feel like, makes sense for city sets, and I'm glad it's not more. I don't really mind paying $10 for this and $10 for this in one set. And if these were separate and they were $10 each, which maybe they would be, I think I would find that rather fair. You do get some of these nice tires with the nice colors and everything like that. There's nothing too crazy about piece usages here. It's pretty standard, but so no huge super big molds or special things necessarily. But There is some good stuff nonetheless. There's some good colors, and two minifigures which are average city quality, I would say, but at least a little more interesting to me than what I'm used to and what I would consider typical city fare. So I don't think the price is too far off. Again, this, like I usually say, this is a set that could potentially go on sale. If you get $4 off, we're looking at $16 for this, which, you can maybe divide that up to $8 a car. That seems very, very fair. I understand why they wouldn't, just automatically price this at that, at $16. I'm just glad they didn't price this at $25 or $30. I wouldn't feel, I think, at those prices it's nearly as good of a deal, and I don't know if I would have bought this right away at release had it been a little bit higher. I think $20 is a pretty good price point for this. It still feels accessible to different people of different means, and I think it could be, I like these vehicle packs because people could play together or build together. The one thing regarding that, though, is occasionally when there's like two vehicles in a set, like the race car and car carrier set, Lego will kind of separate the booklets. And I didn't use the booklet here, but I did notice that it's all just one booklet, which this could be a set that, would be interesting for siblings or, parents and kids or friends or anybody to kind of, each build one of these independently and at the same time, rather, and play with them and switch back and forth and whatever. And I think I really like when Lego does that. I understand that it's not the best use of paper, but I think that there is still value in that. So this one is just the one here, but the cars are separated in the bags. Like the first bag of pieces is everything for this one, second bag of pieces is everything for this one. So I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't separate this out, because that kind of adds another element to it, that it could be shared with somebody else and share the fun, which I think should be encouraged. But that's a pretty minor gripe, but overall this is a fine set, not a set I would typically look at, but I enjoyed building it. I enjoyed talking about it, and then there is some still a lot of things that I admire about this set, even if I don't like other things about it. So that's pretty cool, and overall I would say, I guess I like it. It's fine. I like the Lego of it all is a pretty okay thing for me to say. So that's very good. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all the Lego videos I'll be doing here in the future, including more Lego City and tons of other sets, more cars when the Speed Champions come out, and just tons of other stuff, different themes, different shape, size, price point, piece count, all kinds of stuff. So subscribe, that helps me a lot. And if you want to support this channel, that also helps me a lot. You can do that right here on YouTube with membership supers and thanks. And I have the Patreon. It's in the video description on my channel page, patreon.com/sobricks. And I make some exclusive content, like for bigger sets that I build, and with commentary and some other stuff in the works. So I know I've been saying that for a long time, but bear with me and let me know your thoughts on stuff, and every little bit helps. So thank you very much. And with all that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.